So how do you live cheap in Puerto Rico? Well, in today's video, we're gonna find out. Two years ago, I did a video about the cost of living in Puerto Rico, and I got reamed in the comments for my apparently expensive middle-class lifestyle. So if cheap living is what everyone wants to see, that's what we're gonna take a look at today. So the number one way to save money living in Puerto Rico is to live outside of San Juan, because you can save a ton of money on housing if you live away from the city. The south and the west parts of the island are generally the least expensive, but we're gonna look at 3 different towns and compare prices. So the first option is Barranquitas, and this is a mountain town not too far from Bonito, but a little bit less expensive because it's a little bit harder to get to. It has the cutest little downtown plaza. It's in the mountains, so it's much, much cooler. So the best place to look for properties, whether to rent or to buy in Puerto Rico, is Clasificados Online. So looking on this website, I found all kinds of interesting housing options. So for example, in Barranquitas, you can get a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment for $480 a month. Or if you want to buy, I found this 4-bedroom, 2-bath house that needs a little work for $85,000. And it even has a nice view. Another town to consider is Aguadilla, which is on the northwest side of the island. Aguadilla is a pretty big town, and it has pretty much everything you need. Malls, shopping centers, the beach, everything is right there. It even has an airport with commercial flights. And I found a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment rental with water included for only $475 a month. If you want to purchase, I found a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house that looks decent, and it was only $59,000. I found another 4-bedroom, 1-bath house that looks pretty solid. It has a huge yard for a garden, and it was only $69,500. On the south side of the island is another option called Guanica. So here I found a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house, and it's basically the first floor, so there's a second floor above you where someone else will be living, but it's only $500 a month. It doesn't include water or electricity, and there's no earthquake damage, in case you were wondering. If you're looking to purchase, I found this 3-bedroom, 1-bath house that looks kind of okay. Has seller financing, and it was only $75,000. So these are just 3 examples, and there are tons of others all over the island. There's so many cute little towns, and especially those deep in the mountains, you're gonna find properties that are even cheaper. One thing to keep in mind is that you'll see the word repo on some of these. That means they've been repossessed by the bank and they're being sold by the bank. Now, I've never bought any of these properties. I've met a couple people who have, and it is a long and convoluted process in a lot of cases, so just be prepared for that. But you can get some really, really good deals if you have the patience to see it through. Just buyer beware, do your due diligence, really inspect the property and the neighborhood and everything around it. In fact, I've done a couple videos on how to purchase real estate in Puerto Rico and with some things to look out for, and I'll link to those down below. If you're thinking about retiring in Puerto Rico and you're really excited by all this seemingly cheap real estate, I would recommend that you take a trip to the island, go out with some realtors, and see these properties for yourself, because you're going to have to determine how much work they actually need and if you're comfortable with the various neighborhoods that they're going to be in. You really just have to come see for yourself. And if you're just coming to the island for the first time, I highly recommend renting for a year in a place you'd like to try out, just to see if it works for you. Sometimes you get to a place and you have all these expectations, and you buy a place and then you live in it and you realize, oh, maybe this wasn't the right decision for me. So I really recommend renting before you commit to purchasing a property. When you're looking for cheap places to live, you really need to consider the amenities that they offer and the maintenance costs that they're going to present. So a lot of these cheap houses, they're not going to have screens in any of the windows, and you're probably going to want that because all the bugs bite. The mosquitoes, the fire ants, the critters, they all come in and they can be a real nuisance. You need to think about your HOA costs, if there are any, how much is that per month? And you need to think about property taxes, which in our experience was around 1% of the purchase price of the property, but you'll need to check wherever it is you end up purchasing. You need to think about the cost of painting every 3 to 4 years, because it's just going to need it. The Caribbean climate is so tough on surfaces. You will need to repaint to keep your concrete protected. You're also going to need to think about the cost of mold abatement if that bothers you, because it's the Caribbean and mold grows on everything all the time. And you're going to need to think about annual and monthly pest control expenses. We used to have somebody come in every year and spray for fire ants and bugs and everything. And that was a $565 expense for the year. We had a bigger house. It was 2,500 square feet. So if your house is smaller, it'll be cheaper. And then we also used to pay about $12 a month because rodents were a problem where we lived. And we had a couple of bait stations around the house to keep them from coming inside. So these are other costs to consider if the bugs and critters bother you. If they don't bother you, who cares? AC maintenance is another cost to consider if you end up using air conditioning. So in our house, we had like, oh my gosh, 7 units. And so once every 4 months, somebody had to come in and just kind of clean them out and service them. But again, bigger house, more units. If you don't use AC, don't have to worry about that. If you only have 1 unit or 2, then it's going to be a lot less. Insurance is another cost to consider if you purchase a house. We were paying $1,200 a year. It was a pretty robust policy with a pretty big personal property rider on top of it. If your house is smaller, it's going to be less, but I will say don't necessarily expect that your insurance company is going to pay. It is possible that you could have a hurricane or an earthquake, and too bad. We have still not been paid for Hurricane Maria. We are still negotiating that with our insurance company. Wherever it is you decide to move, before you commit to a lease or a purchase, make sure that location has the speed of internet that you need and the amount of cell coverage that you need, because not all of the island is covered equally. And speeds differ by location and costs may differ as well. Most major cell carriers are operating in Puerto Rico and plans start at $14 a month and they go up from there according to usage. I found a really good page that has a bunch of them compared, so I'll put a link to that below. And what you do is you click on the carrier that you're interested in to see which parts of the island they cover. So whether you buy a house or you rent a house, you can save some money if you buy or rent furnished. But if you have to furnish it yourself, there are some inexpensive ways to do it on the island. IKEA is a really good option. Walmart, Home Goods, TJ Maxx, Rooms to Go when they have sales. And the prices are pretty comparable to what you'd find in the continental US, maybe a tad more expensive. Or if you're really on a budget, just buy it used on Classificados online or in one of the many Facebook groups for the various communities around Puerto Rico. In fact, sometimes in the Facebook groups, you've got people leaving the island and they're giving away stuff for free. So I would actually check there first. Electricity is expensive, so if you want to save money, just forget about air conditioning and buy a $30 fan and use that. Or live in the mountains where it's a whole lot cooler and you won't need any of that. Another expense to consider is the cost of a generator, which I do recommend because the power does sometimes go out and you just want to be covered for that. You can buy a cheap one for a few $100. You can buy an expensive one for several thousand. It's really up to you. And then you're going to need gas for it. And when we were having to use gas all day long, it was about $15 a day. Another cost to think about when you're on the island is water usage. And it really varies from place to place because the different municipalities are all served by different water sources. People who commented on my last video, some were saying they were paying only $23 a month for water for a 1,200 square foot house, while somebody else was paying $60 per month. And it could be more depending on how much you're watering. So one of the best ways to save money on the island is to grow your own food. It's a tropical island. There is so much that grows there. Breadfruit and bananas, plantains, cassava, taro, sweet potatoes, mango, guava, and so much more. Taro. I forgot to mention that in the Things I Miss About Puerto Rico video, which I will link here. You can shop at farmers markets all over the island. You can stop at little roadside fruit stands. There's also a lot of roadside cookouts and food trucks that are really reasonably priced. So the best way to eat cheap on the island is to eat local foods. And if you're really on a budget, avoid sit-down restaurants because they tend to be kind of expensive. The menu pricing was very similar, but then you would add the 15% 10% tip. Then you had to add this 11.5% tax. 10.5% of that was like a state tax, and then 1% of it was a tax that went to the municipality. And that extra 11.5% really started to add up. But if you stick to street food and pop-ups and food trucks, you'll save a whole lot of money and you can still eat out. Or just make food at home or go to friends' house. People love to entertain in Puerto Rico, so it's pretty easy to find dinner invites. When it comes to cars, you really have to have one on the island, especially if you're not living in San Juan. So my recommendation would be to buy a used Jeep. Jeeps are super popular there. Everybody has them. Everybody can fix them. Everybody's got parts for them. So you can buy a beater Jeep for under $1,000 that may need some work, and it goes up from there. But they're hardy vehicles. I wouldn't recommend buying anything new because the roads are in such rough shape that they're just gonna beat the car up anyway. So you might as well get something that's already broken in. Be aware that vehicles are about 15% more expensive than what you're used to because of import taxes and government fees. So whenever you're looking at Kelley Blue Book values, you're just gonna have to add 15% to get the Puerto Rico price. Car insurance is required, however, you can get away without it. Our car insurance was about half of what we had been paying in the state of Nevada. If you have a beater car, it's gonna be less. You do need to budget for gas when you're on the island, but the price of gas right now is insanely cheap because of the whole coronavirus thing. It's like $1.74 per gallon. Just note that at the pump, everything is measured in liters. There are tolls all around the island for the expressways, and they tend to be in the $1 to $3 range. If you're really on a tight budget, you wanna think about living close to town, close to the doctors you're gonna be seeing, close to the beaches you're going to be going to save money on gas, because the price of gas does fluctuate, and the closer you live to everything you need, the more you'll be able to save. If you're looking to live cheaply in Puerto Rico, it's super easy in terms of entertainment because there are so many wonderful free things to do around the island. There are a lot of free festivals normally when people aren't quarantined. Every weekend there's a party happening somewhere on the island, and generally there's no admission. You just go and park and walk around and listen to music and maybe have a little cheap street food, and it's a great day out. You can go for Sunday drives. There's so many beautiful places to drive. You can go visit El Yunque, the rainforest. There's no charge to go in there. You can walk around Old San Juan, which was one of our favorite things to do. It's just beautiful, and it's serene, and it doesn't cost anything. And you can also go to beaches. There are so many beautiful beaches all over the island. I don't even think we saw 10% of them, and we drove around and saw a lot of beaches. So that's another fun free thing you can do. There's also a great chain of movie houses everywhere on the island, Caribbean Cinemas, and their prices are pretty comparable to what you find on the mainland, and they even have a few bucks off for seniors. Another way to save money when you're living on the island is to avoid shopping as much as possible. There are a lot of shopping malls. There's some good retail on the island. You can go in there and spend a lot of money, but that 11.5% tax on everything you buy is going to add up pretty quickly. So I would stay away from the malls. You know, there's a bunch of dollar stores, there's a bunch of discount places that you can shop at. I would go there. One thing about Puerto Rico that you need to understand is that the minimum wage is very low compared to other states in the US. So the minimum wage is $7.25 an hour, and the average wage for a Puerto Rican is $10 an hour. So, you know, this is not an affluent population, and if you were thinking of going over there and getting a job, chances are it's not going to pay very much at all. And that's one of the reasons why housing is so cheap. People who move to the island to retire don't typically worry about the schools, but if you're looking to retire early and you have kids, private schools can be very expensive. There's some costly ones that are $10,000 a year. There's some mid-level ones that are $5,000 and $6,000 a year. But if you really want to save money, either send your kids to public schools where they will learn Spanish, or homeschool them if you want absolute control over the quality of the education. A university education in Puerto Rico is still a real bargain. annual tuition is running at about $4,281 right now, which is actually up significantly from what it used to be, but it's still so much cheaper than just about any other university in the United States and around the world. Health insurance, which is insanely expensive on the mainland, is about half the price in Puerto Rico. So that is a huge win if you're looking to live an inexpensive lifestyle. The problem is, when you need to go see a doctor, expect to spend an entire day waiting for your appointment, no matter what time it is, in a waiting room full of sick people. They just don't see people at appointed times like what you're used to in the continental US. Everybody has an appointment for 8 o'clock. You all show up, you sign in, and you all wait till maybe 1 or 2 to finally get your 8 o'clock appointment. It's a little bit insane. That's just how it works. I did a whole video about it, and I'll link that here for your reference. You should also be aware that there's a shortage of specialists on the island. So if you need to see a very specialized doctor, you need to check and see if that specialty is even available and how many of them are there on the island. It can be months before you can get in to see one of these specialists because there are just so few of them. And another thing to think about is if you depend on reliable power for constantly running medical equipment or refrigerated medicines, just be aware that sometimes the power fails, there are hurricanes, and there may be interruptions. So this is just something you need to think about. It's a risk. The bottom line is, Puerto Rico can be an incredibly cheap place to live. Beautiful people, wonderful culture. You just have to be willing to adapt. So are you thinking of retiring to Puerto Rico? What else do you want to know? Put your questions in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.